This is part of the Big Heads Media Podcast Network. Go to bigheadsmedia.com for more great podcasts.
Welcome to Dig on America, where we speak truth to power. Every week, we give you the dig on how American history, policies, and media created the social and political issues we face today. DOA is independent media supported by listeners, but they'll tell you we're just fake news, deep state propaganda, funded by George Soros, the Clinton Foundation, BLM Marxists, and
that that dude who be dancing that that little old crazy weird
Great American
dude.
motherfucker.
Yeah, that Great American dude.
That might be regional. I don't know if Attorney Anna gets that one.
She know who that is.
I don't get it. I have no idea what y'all talk about.
If you've seen the Golden Child, you know who Sawda Noonspa is.
Golden Child.
Golden Child, Eddie Murphy with the little motherfucking baby. The baby sitting in the cage eating leaves.
What year did this come out?
Oh, fuck y'all. God,
look,
I'm being so serious.
I wasn't trying to out you, but
I'm trying to get a clue, and the clues are not coming to mind.
I am on the podcast with infants.
Dutch is not here. All you audio people out there, what's up? Thank you for joining us for another episode of Dig on America. I'm Mikey Famine. Dutch ain't here. Thank fucking God. Oh my God, dude.
We like that.
Oh my God. It has been Haas, you've been gone. Anna, you've been gone. I've been stuck with him.
I was gone one time.
Every week I've been stuck with him. And y'all left me.
I was gone 1 week.
Unfortunately, we've vamped enough. It's time for the dig. It's time to see what old Mr. Humble was wrong about. And we have
it's Mr. Dutch.
Mr. Dutch.
Looking like a retired truck driver.
Substitute driving instructor.
Mm-hmm. He's a professional CDL instructor now.
Cone operator, right. Supervisor.
He putting out the blinking fences on the expressway and shit.
Those matrix signs. That's him.
Closing off the lanes and shit. Right at the exit, not longer before, so that people have a warning. Love you, Dutch.
Here we go.
Hi, what's up, nerds?
How dare you?
Jason Dutch here. Luck has it, shit comes up. So here I am, not here, but here. Said hello to the nerds already. Also, hello.
Same rule as always. If you guys want to pause the pasty one, y'all know what to do.
To Attorney Anna, who is definitely not a nerd, at least not in the sense that the other two nerds are.
I disagree already. I think Anna is a nerd. I think Anna is a nerd. We just haven't figured out what it is yet. Everybody's a nerd about something. We'll find it out.
Facts.
Y'all not gonna find out.
No, she's a sewing nerd.
I mean, is it a sewing nerd? Because I feel like I'm a hot girl when I sew.
See,
I
feel like I'm really cool when I play.
I'm wearing hot girl shit.
I feel really cool when I play first person shooters.
You got your Foxy Brown outfit on.
So I'm going to get right into today's dig. There is a couple of video clips that are kind of with this dig. So this dig's a little bit shorter. I'm going to speed through it, and then I'll let there's a couple of videos I'll play while I'm doing this. And then Mikey, I'll send him a link to a couple others that I think if he wants to get to them, he'll have the authority to do what the fuck he wants. Mikey. So let's rock and roll and get into today's dig-a-lig-a-ding-dong. So what I want to do to start it is I'm going to play a little clip from a video here. I think it's from 2008.
What the hell?
Video quality is kind of crummy, and there's music playing over it, but it's all like free music, like patriotic music and stuff like that. So I kind of checked that out. So here it is.
Oh yeah, for everybody who's listening and who hasn't seen, well, they've probably seen the episode title by this point. Attorney Anna, what are we talking about today? What's our dig?
Patriotism.
Bum, 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 bum.
Here, I'll start out by playing this, and we will kind of go from there. I believe it is that tab. Boo.
It's almost like he pre-recorded this, like, so he could have like cut this part out. It's crazy.
Ooh. Yes. So here we go with this one.
Not the random shade.
Actually, let me make sure that I. Sorry, Mikey.
Oh my fucking God! He
I wanna
knows
make sure
I'm
that I
pissed.
shared my sound here. I always forget to do that.
It's funny. He does know you too well.
Now we're cooking.
Oh Lord, cook it, damn it!
And I remember is the idea of what America is. The ideal is absolutely magnificent and beautiful, and we don't always execute it the way that we should. We don't always live it the way that we should. But if we can remember what the ideal is, there's nothing like it in the world.
I think for the most part, I agree with that particular.
Of course it does, because that sounds crazy. Does that sound crazy, or is that just me that it sounds crazy too? Like the feeling it in your heart,
crazy. You notice some underlying
yeah
bullshit. What if you ask all you gotta ask, what is the ideal, Karen? And then she's gonna go into some shit. You're gonna be like, exactly what I fucking thought.
She do look like a Karen. She had the pixie cut and
she
everything.
got the fucking scarf and shit.
Hell yeah!
Like
I hate y'all.
It's right here in the front.
I hate y'all.
But at night, it's around the back.
Their statement.
Most of the time, those scars are used to cover.
Let's
choke
continue on.
Anyway.
Push play.
In 2008 is doing
nice sweater.
Can
look at this serial killer.
Hold on, bro. Hold on, bro. You ain't getting away with that sweater. Not on this network.
When did the DEA descend upon his home? That's what I want to know. Look at that goddamn sweater.
Bro, he a snitch.
Dude, this motherfucker here got
he a whole ass snitch. It's about 36 wires up in that shit. He got the whole room mic'd up.
Fucking serial killer. Look at him. This motherfucker drill holes in women's bathroom walls.
I promise you, I seen him on an episode of Blacklist.
Dude, I seen him on a Catch a Predator or something.
I seen him on
God,
there.
Damn.
He looked like
Catch a Predator.
He looked like the suit maker.
Is he not giving it to Catch a Predator vibes? I made some cookies. All right,
I only came here because she said she had lemonade.
Right. Why are you taking all your clothes off then, John?
That's
as he's standing there fucking Scooby-Doo boxers.
That's how I always drink my lemonade.
Right. I don't want to spill it on my clothes.
How's he breathing in that sweater?
It is the Blues Clues sweater for me. Like, why does he do
got
that?
The cable knit joint from 1983.
That's the Coogee knockoff. Y'all
looks very.
It's not even giving Coogee. He didn't even try.
Oh, Dutch actually.
And his eyes look weird. Look at his eyes.
His feet a lot.
It's because he's ready to call the cops. Okay,
he's
ready to call.
Look at them arms crossed.
Right.
Where's the supervisor?
He said your card is declined. That's what.
You know,
that is your card's declined, sir.
Pull up next to me and they're playing that music. You know, boom, boom, boom. They're playing that music. I have to roll my window up. I'm trying to listen to Waylon Jennings.
It's just the arms crossed and the sweater for me. It's the pose and the sweater with the undershirt.
We're being very judgmental right now, but if you saw this guy, the listeners, you'd be like, yeah, they're right.
Can we also talk about how he's standing in front of a ginormous
candlestick?
And he's got
one candlestick.
Tell me Colonel Mustard didn't use that motherfucker.
That's what I was going to say. Look like he was playing Clue with that shit.
Tell me he got the Clue candelabra ready for bashing the back of someone's brain in.
Dude,
I don't trust this guy.
Sweater.
Can to live the ideals.
How's he breathing in that sweater? Anyway, he looks very Bates Motel-ish. Come stay at my house.
So we agree.
That were set out in the two founding documents of our nation, the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of the United States.
The founding fathers were brilliant.
Brilliant slave owners.
Brilliant. John Adams,
slave owner,
was a serious
slave owner.
Brilliant man.
And slave owner.
He was smart. There's no doubt, but not sure why that's relevant.
Patriots are people who believe in a cause.
Be nice, y'all.
Cause that is.
Pause.
Here they go bringing up Martin Luther King. Damn.
Now he's a patriot, but they was happy he was dead back when they got assassinated.
Don't they get that he's rebelling against the Constitution? Because the Constitution did not acknowledge his rights. The Constitution was lacking, which is why he had to do
soda
this.
That I'm sure somebody spit in. I have to say I agree with you.
Put some more water in Buck Nasty's mama's dish.
Haas is going to say something here, I'm sure.
Yeah, I said your mama.
Anyway, back to it.
It becomes a part of the fabric of their lives. We feel that the American.
Now, hold on. Dutch didn't know I was going to say something about this. This is the most disrespectful shit I've ever seen in my entire life. There is a 3-piece marching band and they're holding up sheet music. Y'all didn't learn the song?
They never seen Drumline because Nick Cannon would never.
Nick Cannon would never. He gonna play that shit by ear.
You gotta learn.
He gonna play it by ear.
It's the 4th of July. There's like only one of 4 songs you're playing.
They do have sheet music.
They're holding, and this poor girl on screen is trying to play trombone.
Trying to play a slide trombone and read the sheet music. How the fuck you do that?
Poor thing. She's trying. They ain't even. Some people got it over one shoulder. Some people got it over the other shoulder.
They asked her at the.
They don't know what's going on.
Minute.
God damn!
Look, I wrote in the slide positions for you. You just follow the charts, okay? Just follow along.
We feel that the American flag is part of that symbol.
So again, they're talking about the association with the flag and patriotism.
And that's part of our thrust to have everyone believe that and respect the flag. And
so everyone should believe and protect the flag. Interesting. Okay, let's keep going.
Also goes back to the history of our nation. We're a proud nation. We have great history to carry forth. And if we don't carry that message forward to our next generation.
If we don't indoctrinate our next generation, and make them stand up and pledge allegiance to the flag, we got more flags in our country than other countries have, period, combined.
So I promise I'm not making fun of you, Haas. Did you always have to do the pledge, or did it get instituted? Because it came in at a certain year, right?
Not he said. What years was it? How was it back in the old days?
TV color, black and white.
but straight up though, it wasn't always a part of school thing. Like that didn't happen until much later.
I always remember doing the pledge. My first memory of doing the pledge was, I think, kindergarten or 2nd grade or something like that. Okay. And we always did the pledge unless I was in Catholic school. When I was in Catholic school, we didn't do that shit.
Can't have no
public school. In public school, we had to do it. Yeah, not in the Catholic school. The nuns would beat your fucking ass in the
okay. Okay, there's a little. All right, Lamar. Thanks, Lamar. I had to always do it. I'm 48,
yeah, and I just turned 50. So
because that was a Red Scare thing, from what I understand.
In the 60s and 70s,
yeah, them instituting the Pledge of Allegiance in schools.
McCarthyism,
because of the goddamn commies.
Goddamn commies.
We'll lose it.
So there's some culture war there.
We can't see it, Mikey. We can't see the video.
You're right. Shout out to this TV up here in the corner, which had saved so many motherfuckers from not having their homework done. And the teacher had a migraine or was hungover, and they said, we're going to watch a movie today. Having that TV in the classroom that you didn't have to rent out saved me from so much homework. So shout out to the AV Club for posting that shit up there with the little swivel joint. I appreciate y'all. Talking about the classroom.
Can't relate. I always had the TV that they had to wheel in from down the hall in the closet. Public school. They like, let's go. Let me go get the TV with the VCR.
Sorry, y'all. We're not going to be able to finish the whole movie because the last class forgot to rewind it. That's going to take us a good 15 to 20 minutes. You know it don't work good. Kids don't know about rewind these days.
You also had to rewind a movie before you turn it back to Blockbuster.
But I digress. You got to remember,
be kind and rewind.
Obama McCain campaign. So just, I don't know if that's associated or not, but let's bear that in mind.
Patriotism is not a loyalty oath. It is the understanding that you must love your.
Who is that? I know him.
Ain't that Dan Rather or Peter Jennings or somebody?
I don't know. If you're in the chat, you can see who this is. Who the hell is this? There's a very Republican-looking white man out here.
He's a journalist, actually.
Dan, is that Dan Rather?
I think it is.
We might have a sighting of Dan Rather. Please confirm.
Country, but always believe it can be improved. To always ask.
That was important. Pause.
Totally agree.
Pause. When he said to always believe that can always be improved. And that's when I talk, you think about conservatives and liberals or progressives. Conserve is to what? To save, to preserve.
Protect. Ensure.
Right. Progress is
change,
grow. Evolution, better. What he said, you love what you got, but you have this belief that it can always be better. And there are a faction of people who refuse to even acknowledge that part. They think the Constitution is great as it is from a few hundred years ago.
It's fine.
They feel like make America great again. That means we need to go back to a certain time when they feel America was great.
Remember Happy Days?
Right. So, but that part of the definition of that would be a definition of patriotism that I would agree with, because those words at the end there, to believe that it can always be better, is so important, but it is cut out and cut off of so many people's view of patriotism.
Let's dig on here.
But do you think, Hosto, that that's because people have different ideas of what better is? Because like when I hear people saying like, oh, make America great again, let's just say, like insinuating or implying that it was great at one point in time.
Right.
To me, I hear that as I had the ability to do more things or to have more power or to have more socio-political influence or all these things. And your making America better took all that away from me. So we need to go do that.
Because for a lot of people, equality is seen as oppression to them because they have been elevated for so long. And it's almost instinctive. It's conditioned to the point of instinct, like breathing or blinking. And so
but
now,
it's like power. But like, who wants to get power taken away from them at any time?
Nobody
ever?
Does.
Like, you know what I mean?
But that's the thing.
Mikey does.
Not one man should have all this power.
And here's the thing: is that
get out.
They don't even understand. They don't even understand or recognize that the basis of their fear and wishing for times gone by is the reclamation of this societal unspoken power. Well, sometimes it is spoken, but you know what I mean? And it's I don't want to lose. I'm afraid to become a minority in this country. But they don't finish the sentence because we know how we've treated minorities in this country. And God forbid we ever be in that position. That's where the fear lies, because you know what behaviors you've engaged in or behaviors you stood by and been like this.
But that was patriotic. I was being patriotic.
Yeah, because love it or leave it. America, love it or leave it.
I was supporting the police, Haas. How is that not patriotic? I'm supporting the police.
So did the Nazis.
Well,
I believe that this nation should commit itself to achieving the goal.
Not sure
before this decade is out.
What this has to
of
do with
landing a man on the moon and returning him safely to the earth.
Maybe.
I think patriotism is someone who believes in his country, not right or wrong, but he wants it to be right and he wants to make it right.
Okay, I can't let this go on any further without addressing this. So I've said on the show a trillion times. I was in Marine Corps and Air Force ROTC when I was in high school. folding flags, raising flags, lowering flags, half-masting flag, all that shit. They made us do all that shit. The flag code, I had to fucking take a test on it for a fucking grade. Bruh, you can't fucking paint the flag on a roof like they have in this B-roll footage and walk all over it. The flag is not meant to be, you can't do that with the flag. There's a reason that our logo looks the way it does, because I made sure that my annoying ass made sure that we were flag code compliant. Our flag looks like
regulations. Come on, making sure we following the law.
I can't have us out here fucking looking sloppy, right? So our flag looks like the American flag, but it isn't the American flag. When you literally draw the American flag in rippled formations on a roof, on the floor, when you hold a flag horizontal rather than vertical, where it should be hanging above all other flags, including the state flag, and if it's raining, there should be a light on it. Like, there are rules to this shit. There's rules to this shit. You can't just go around putting flags on your fucking mankini so you can go cut the grass on every Thursday morning. Oh, you're muted.
I just did that this morning, though.
You're not supposed to. That's against the flag
American flag banana hammock rolling in the the stars and bars crop top.
Oh, stop.
I think that's a really good way to say it. I think that's what we do on this show, but let's continue.
The American flag represents all that goodness.
We have Justin Spielberg, Steven Spielberg's long lost brother. He's now speaking.
Okay. And if there is badness happening, the American flag doesn't represent it.
Whoa, hold on. What was that again? Let's just go back a second.
Dutch over here in the freestyle battle, he said, hold on, let me run it back for you. I appreciate that.
Oh, baby.
Can hear.
Badness happening.
Let's go back one more second.
Jesus.
And he wants to make it right.
To me, the American flag represents all that goodness.
All that goodness is what is reflected by the American. This is super key to what today's dig is, guys. All that goodness is represented by the American flag.
Okay. And if there is badness happening, the American flag doesn't represent it.
Okay, that's nationalism. I'm going to stop sharing this now, and I'm going to play one more clip from another video before I get into the dig.
Do you guys want to comment on that while he's pulling up?
Wait a minute, I thought we were in the dig.
Yeah, I don't know what he's doing. You know, I don't know what he does.
I said, what is going on?
It's like, where we been at? Well, this was the pre-dig.
We don't need no dig foreplay, dude.
You gotta hum on him sometimes. Any comments on what he said so far?
Maybe drop ash.
This is super short. It's from our
y'all terrible,
favorite.
We're bad people. We understand that, and we accept ourselves for who we are.
Look, it's our old friend.
I know he didn't.
Oh shit!
I know he didn't. Oh man, see, he does this shit on purpose. He records these motherfuckers when he knows he gonna set us off, and then he just records it so he ain't got to be here. Okay, I see you, Game Dutch. I'm gonna be absent next week. I got something for you.
This is a couple minutes, but I won't play the whole thing.
What up, Ted Lou?
I'm gonna let her own words do the talking. So I'm gonna play for you the first 30 seconds.
For the audio listeners, this is a clip from CNN. It says lawmaker plays Hitler comments in white nationalism hearing, and this is Ted Lieu. He's a Democrat from California.
Of a statement she made about Adolf Hitler.
I agree. I actually
My man came with receipts. I appreciate this.
don't have any problems at all with the word nationalism. I think that it gets the definition gets poisoned.
Oh, there go Candace with her little stank face. She mad. She's like, who gave him this clip? She's very perturbed. Oh,
and her hair look a mess.
Stop
for the
it.
people who
Stop
can't
it.
see it.
Stop.
It's giving split ends.
Well, look at that fire in her eyes.
That actually want globalism. Globalism is what I don't want. So when you think about whenever we say nationalism, the first thing people think about, at least in America, is Hitler. he was a National Socialist. But if Hitler just wanted to make Germany great and have...
By the way, Hitler was not a fucking socialist. We discussed that last week. Not a socialist. Just because you call yourself a socialist does not make you one. What you do makes you one, right or wrong.
Just because you named him Darren don't mean he belonged to Darren.
His mama named him Click. I'm an immigrant.
Okay, fine.
So again, that was deflection. But anyway.
Problem is that he had dreams outside of Germany. He wanted to globalize. He wanted everybody to be German, everybody to be speaking German.
All right. So my first question is to Ms. Hirschhoff.
I'm going to skip a little bit forward here.
Ms. Owen said.
From those comments later.
Wow. Edited clip. The right wing's going to eat this shit up. Way to go, Dutch. Way to shoot him some bail, Dutch.
I think it's pretty apparent that Mr. Liu believes.
And I should mention what that lady said. She said Miss Owens distanced herself from that a little bit, but now she'll watch this.
That Black people are stupid and will not pursue the full clip in its entirety. He purposely presented an extracted clip.
The witness will suspend for a moment.
What the fuck did she just say?
It sounded like she was basically trying to say that he painted a false narrative of what she was saying by only playing a portion of the clip and not the full thing.
No, but
Black people are stupid.
Right. Which portion? Was she talking about? Let's play that again.
All right. So my first question is to Ms. Hirschhoff.
I'm going to skip a little bit forward here.
Ms. Owen said.
From those comments later.
I think it's pretty apparent that Mr. Liu believes.
And I should mention what that lady said. She said Miss Owens distanced herself from that a little bit, but now she'll watch this.
That Black people are stupid and will not pursue the full clip in its entirety. He purposely presented an extracted clip.
The witness will suspend for a moment.
How Dutch gonna pull us an extracted clip while she over here complaining about extracted clip? See, this is the shit I be talking about. This should I be talking about? Any comments thus far, or we already expect this out of Candace?
Candace gonna Candace when Candace if a check there.
Yeah,
that's all it's about. Dutch has already aired her dirty laundry as far as her rather sudden switch to chase the bag. So,
it is not proper to refer disparagingly or to a member of the committee. The witness will not do that again. Witness may continue.
Sure, even though I was called despicable.
Witness may not refer to a member of the committee as stupid.
I didn't refer to him as stupid. That's not what I said. That's not what I said at all.
In her defense there, and I hate to do this, she said,
then don't.
That he thinks Black people are stupid, which is, of course, a straw man argument. But she didn't say he was stupid. So technically she's right, but who cares? That's not the point.
You didn't listen to what I said. May I continue?
He's like, whatever, bitch.
I was gonna make a VO5 joke, but that's not appropriate.
Please.
As I said, he is assuming that Black people will not go pursue the full 2-hour clip, and he purposefully extracted.
Is it a clip if it's 2 hours?
No, it's not a fucking clip.
No.
And if it takes you 2 hours to fucking get to your point, if it takes you 2 hours to be like, oh, that's what she meant, then you don't know how to fucking elucidate yourself. Seriously.
Or talk.
Which
is the same word, but I'm not Big Haas.
Cut off, and you didn't hear the question that was asked of me.
Oh, right. Like conservatives never do that. Again, that's a straw man from me.
That's a whataboutism from Dutch. Sorry, dude, you did it. I hate to say it.
But hypocrisy.
He's trying to present as if I was launching a defense of Hitler in Germany, when in fact, the question that was asked of me was pertaining.
Well, you were launching a defense of Hitler, and you're about to prove it right now with your next sentence.
To whether or not I believed that Hitler was whether or not I believed in nationalism, and that nationalism was bad. And what I responded to was that I do not believe that we should be characterizing Hitler as a nationalist. He was a homicidal, psychopathic maniac.
Nationalist.
That killed his own people.
Nationalist.
A nationalist would not kill their own people.
He didn't see them as his own people because he had the Ubermensch that he was trying to create.
Is exact.
Did she not read shit?
She don't read.
Bro, I smoke weed and drink bourbon, and I remember this shit. What the fuck does she have that she forgets everything that actually happened in the 40s and 50s?
If it doesn't fit the
You must
bag
have quit.
chasing, it's gonna get deleted, dude. That's her thing.
I mean,
you know,
is that what we're missing out on, House? Is there a bag that we're missing out on?
She's trying to chase the bag, homie.
Man,
hate pays way more than love does. You know,
not
and if you
around
as
here.
a black person are going to represent the majority, you're gonna get paid.
Can I get paid?
You
What they mean?
You could.
You know what's crazy? Ain't no right-wing group ever offered us no money. I think you have to go up
That's
to
because
them
you're
and
not saying what they
ask.
want you to say. If you pull a
think
Diamond and Silk, though, you would get paid. Diamond and Silk had a TV show on Fox, like a streaming show on Fox.
I'm just saying,
Diamond and Silk.
I'm just saying, I think.
And now where they at though, along with Sheriff Clark?
I think you have to go ask for the shows. What I'm saying.
No, what happens is you have
They
to start
not gonna-
talking crazy, and then like tagging them, and just keep talking crazy and keep tagging them, and then they'll come find you because they're like, "Ooh, a black person saying what we need to say, what we want to say, but can't say," because then they'll know the real deal.
So I know this isn't part of the dig. This isn't part of nationalism, but
I think we're still in dig foreplay, aren't we?
We're in dig foreplay, but we're all
get out
black.
Some people go through a lot.
I just want to warn some of the audio people who can't see us on screen right now. There's 3 beautiful black faces on screen right now.
Various lovely shades of chocolate, if I might add.
I'm in the middle.
Various lovely.
I'm gonna let them fight it out.
I'm about 4 shades from Nigerian.
Yo, that fucking 23andMe was just like Nigeria. Like it was like the biggest capital letter shit ever in my fucking profile. When it comes to nationalism, what say y'all on the black side of things? How much allegiance do you give to this country? How much allegiance do you give to your fellow citizens? Do you love and miss Africa? What are your thoughts as a black Raffin? Because not that ADOS shit. We's black. We descendants of slave. We black folk. Us.
Yeah, I feel like it's hard to have the sense of nationalism that I feel like a lot of white people have, because at least my own upbringing, I would just say like my parents are descendants of slaves. Great grandparents were sharecroppers. Their grandparents direct descendants of slaves or were slaves themselves. So it's just like it's very difficult to reconcile your personal experience and even understanding that the oppression that Black people go through today is not what it once was. Right. There's still like a real disconnect that exists being a Black person. So it's just very hard to like feel so excited about the flag when the people that's trying to tell you that you should feel excited about this country are the very same people that are oppressing you. Like, so it's just hard to like share in that camaraderie when you don't really feel that you are able to access all the parts of what should be part of nationalism. Like you're not able to access equality all the way, and you're not able to access certain rights and privileges that are supposed to be guaranteed to you as a citizen, given the benefit of the doubt in ways that other citizens are. So it's just hard to like participate in that excitement that is patriotism when you never felt connected in the first place.
Big House.
Here's my thing. When we talk about Black nationalism, it doesn't come with a side order of violence like when we talk about white nationalism. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When we say Black power, there isn't a side order of, batteries being thrown at you, spit, things of that nature. Whereas when you hear white power or white nationalism, if you're in the area and it's a group of them, especially if it's more than one, because if it's just one, they probably won't do anything. But if it's 3 or 4 of them and you're in the area and you seem to be solo, when you hear white power, when you hear, you know, things of that nature, those nationalist sayings being hurled out, you know what's coming.
Yeah.
You know, whereas when you hear black power, it could be 100 motherfuckers saying black power walking down the street. But that immediate threat of violence and confrontation is not present.
So let me play devil's advocate here for a second.
Sure.
So I assume we have a few. I know you're out there in the chat right now. We have a few white allies out there, right? Like we got our peoples, you know, that we've given barbecue passes to. They understand us. We understand them. Right. We rock with them.
Yeah.
And they might be in the chat right now. And if you guys want to comment on this, feel free. When they hear black power, do they assume that it's the same as the white power, but the inverse?
But can they though? Like, because the thing is that when we hear, when black people hear white power, it's not that, oh my gosh, I'm just scared out of the blue because it's a group of white people saying white power. There is a full, robust history of these particular words being used together in connection with violence against black bodies.
Definitely foreshadowing.
White allies hearing black power do not have that same experience, nor do they have that the history plus the attachment of violence to those particular words. So it's like maybe you're afraid of a group of black people together. Like I could see that and being like, oh, like this is a group. It seems like it's getting rowdy. Like I'm scared. I don't know. Maybe I'm the only white person around. Like I could see that. But I don't think that the fear is as ingrained as it is when it's when you hear white power is reminiscent of the Klan or is reminiscent of other specifically violent extremist groups, and what wasn't even considered to be extremist at a time, it was considered to be, a common. So I just don't think that they can share that experience. Like like I said, if you're afraid of a group of people and you're the only white person and things might get out of hand because you're the only white person, like, okay, but like, if it's, one person, even 3 white people saying, or 2 white people saying white power, it's still the fear of violence because of the history of violence with that phrase.
Well put. I like that. And for the record, white allies, ain't nobody looking to oppress you. If you are ally with us, that means you ain't got shit no way. You broke like us. Come on,
not
brokey.
necessarily. Not necessarily.
Come on, brokey. Come on in the broke line.
Not necessarily.
I think
that
it ain't a lot of forward-thinking millionaires out there. And if you ain't a millionaire, you down here in the trough with us. But you in the latrine pissing with girls taking pictures.
All in.
Y'all got the great. You in the same boat as us. You got all. What's the difference, Anna? Come on, man. You knew I had you right. You knew I've been setting this trap right. You knew I was setting this trap right. The defense rushed, Your Honor.
I'm screaming.
I'm just gonna say this. I think that there are definitely allies that maybe come from means that had great parents. And those parents, I mean, my wife being one of them.
Yeah.
Her parents, top notch.
Right.
Top notch. And it's no faking it, because you can't hold a mask up that long. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? My wife and I, we're going to be married 10 years in September. We dated for 2 years before that. And
remember,
her dad and her mom have been top notch, and not just because she liked me, so they had to like me. Right. I've seen them move among people, and I've seen how they act around folk that they don't know, and I'm not even around, and they're top notch. So I definitely, if there's one family like that, there have to be others in this country that produce some great children that are now allies, as their parents are allies as well.
All right, we only halfway through this dig. I'm gonna have to start shutting up.
Yeah, I gotta. Yeah,
my bad, y'all. We're gonna keep it rolling.
What I was referring to in the clip, and he.
Did you hear that? A nationalist would not kill their own people. But it comes down to who is their own people. I'm sure you guys will pause me here and discuss that. That's the danger of nationalism. Okay?
We already did that.
So now that you have a little bit of context on some different ideas about this, let's get into the dig. So, oh, you know what? Actually, let me stop sharing that first because I'm an idiot. All right, now my 8th grade social studies teacher,
Mr. Humble,
taught me things that turns out after doing my own research wasn't exactly the whole story. And this week, we will dive into the topic of what the actual fuck is patriotism anyway. Well, I guess we're going to find out. According to Oxford Dictionary, it is the quality of being patriotic, devotion to and vigorous support for one's country. Wikipedia defines patriotism as the feeling of love, devotion, and sense of attachment to one's country. This attachment, Wikipedia notes, can be a combination of many different feelings, language relating to one's homeland, including ethnic, cultural, political, or historical aspects. The educational site thoughtco.com defines patriotism as the feeling of love for one's country. They go a little deeper and offer that demonstrating patriotism or being patriotic is one of the necessities of being the stereotypical, quote, good citizen. However, patriotism, like many well-intentioned things, can be harmful when taken to extremes.
I think we all agree with that.
They add that it can evoke kinship with fellow citizens one also views as patriotic.
What was your most patriotic moment? I just thought of mine. What was the moment that you were just like, I'm American, damn it? I can think of 2 instances.
I can't really think of any where I just felt overly patriotic.
I bet you had one, and it happens every 4 years, and not the election.
Okay, give me another hint.
There's a lot of other countries trying to.
Oh, the Olympics.
Yeah,
that's the only time though. But it's like I'm also like, who else would I root for? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not like I had like it's not like, you know, my team is the Celtics, but I live in Detroit and I just got a backup team in Detroit just in case they make it. Like, I don't really have a backup country that I'm like, you know, I hope if we don't win, Jamaica. Jamaica. I hope Jamaica wins. I hope Kenya wins this next one.
Bro, I've been rooting for Nigeria in so many different sporting events after I got that 23andMe result. I was like, like, Israel Adesanya.
I be having to see what is the sport, because I'm like, let me see who's like track. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna hope Jamaicans number 1. Like, if we don't get it, then I hope Jamaica go. Jamaica might go before us, but right. You know, I'm like, if it's track, it might be Kenya or something like that. Now, if it's curling,
do you know why
might be Canada.
Do you know why we win that shit all the time?
Win what?
Those track and field events.
Do we? I mean, we win a lot. We win a lot of them.
The black diaspora.
Oh yeah. Why? I want to know what you're gonna say.
Because of the bucking. And the mixing of the strongest male and the strongest female that they could think of. That has genetic layover.
Buck breaking.
But that's not in every country though. That's not in every black country.
It's only in the countries that really excel in those like hyper sport fucking arenas. It's always descendants of slaves.
When you think about the Caribbean countries,
I never thought about that.
It's always
and then you also have to remember that there is a great Haitian, Jamaican, Nigerian, African immigrant population in England.
Yep.
So like when I was watching the World Championships for track and field in the 4x4 and the 4x1, they're like France, and it's a black lady because you guess what? They probably came from Jamaica or somewhere to France. You saw England, their leadoff runner, black lady. So until you got even Italy had a black lady there, but then Switzerland.
Brazil. We're looking at you, Brazil.
Right.
Brazil be swearing to God that they don't have no black folks. I'm like, bro.
They don't want to admit, and that's
that's
the extent to which the conditioning has made us hate ourselves in a lot of cases.
Which is
it's not that they don't acknowledge that they have black people. I think they're just similarly second-class citizens. Like, I don't think they're saying,
colorism.
We're not black. I think it's that there's like in America.
It's definitely colorism.
But I read that now I don't know if this is true. I might just be making this up. But tell me if you all ever heard this. I heard, or I think I recall reading, that there aren't really a lot of black Argentinians, if however you pronounce it, because they effectively tried to breed it out. Like they were like, we don't want that, and which was I remember thinking that it was really odd because it's a South American country, and just where it is, I thought it would have had more black people just because of the transatlantic slave trade, obviously.
Oh no, but there's a lot of, hey, let's make octoroons and quadroons, et cetera, to lighten the skin.
I remember thinking that was really odd.
Did y'all think
that's the extent to which the conditioning has taken effect?
Did y'all think y'all was getting black people into the Andes? Nah, we ain't going. It's cold as fuck. Hell no. That's South America.
No, we ain't going.
Hell no, they're in the mountains. The fuck?
But and that's also a part of it too. That's also a part of it too, is that in those mountainous regions, etc., where you don't get a whole lot of full sun.
Get out, Haas. Push play. Push play.
Operation Paperclip, Argentina was full of Nazis for about a decade. So
I believe that
version of harmful feeling of nationalism while sharing patriotism's love of country. It adds the belief that one's home country is superior to others, so therefore not the same.
But we be winning in all the sporting events. How are we not better?
Because sports isn't the only barometer by which we, and we shouldn't be thinking, oh, who's better or who's not better in the first place.
But America is the best country because look at our laws. Look at the laws in Saudi Arabia and look at the laws here. I'm gonna whataboutism you for about 45 minutes. What now?
But the thing is that, in Saudi Arabia, somebody may get stoned to death, and in America, Ahmaud Arbery gets shot to death. So
there you go.
My man, as we will go.
I threw it up off the glass and Haas hit it.
Dominique,
we do share that trait.
That might be too old for you.
Is nationalism.
I remember Dominique Wilkins.
Illustrate to educate. That website breaks.
Neek. I remember Neek. All right.
This down pretty well, I feel, and they do so via looking at history. Go figure. Look at history. Who could have guessed that might be important? Wish we thought of it. Anyway, Illustrate to Educate notes that patriotism can be dated back to at least 1653. And the word comes from the Greek word patrios, which means a waffle. Now, it means one of one's father is what patrios means. And notes that there is not much evidence of nationalism until the 1800s or so. And it was largely an...
What happened in the 1800s that they would have started no, I can't think of nothing that major, like in the 1830s into the 50s. I can't think of nothing.
Interchangeable term with patriotism to begin with. They offer that nationalism has changed meaning over the last couple hundred years, but that patriotism, in their view, has remained largely unchanged in definition, at least until super recently here. So patriotism includes support, love.
All right, this is going to be my last pause, and I'm going to turn his volume down when y'all start talking, but we got to keep it rolling.
And a defense of a country. But nationalism includes exalting one nation's culture and interest above all others, and often at the expense of others. It ignores the common interests of other countries. There is no consensus on this, by the way, with scholars and social scientists. But generally, patriots may believe that one's nation is inherently good. Things like freedom, justice, equality, bravery, and working together for a better quality of life is part of what keeps them patriotic. You heard a lot of that in the first video that I played with those kind of different narratives that people were just giving in that documentary. Simply put, they are proud of their country, like me, when it does good, but disappointed when it does bad. We'll get to that. Nationalism, however, distrusts or disapproves of other countries almost automatically, especially countries that they don't identify as like, right?
Mexico.
And nationalism is used typically as a political vehicle. It is a negative connotation. Nationalism is an extreme exclusionary view that disapproves of immigrants and often disapproves of those immigrants based on racial or religious grounds.
Okay, I'm gonna do one more pause. I'll add. So can y'all think of two isolationist countries, one imaginary and one real?
Okay.
Wakanda.
Thank you. Where your phone from, Anna?
China.
Or Japan? I actually don't even know what kind of phone you have. I should have probably known that first. I knew Haas had an iPhone. Well, Japan. Japan was very isolationist, and same with China. No one got in. After Japan dealing with China and after China dealing with the fucking Huns, nah, ain't nobody coming up in this bitch. We doing our own thing. China times, Japan times, we doing our shit. Because they had external forces that forced them to protect themselves. I don't know if we have those same forces acting upon us now, that we need to shit on everybody else and make sure that nobody else comes in to ensure our survival going forward.
It holds the general belief that one should be proud of their country no matter what it does. So unlike patriotism, proud when it does good, I'm proud America rocks all the time, even when committing genocide.
Drone strikes.
Or that, and I'm adding here, or that it was the bad things we did have always been for the greater good or ordained by God, depending on who you're talking to, right? Like God destroyed Jericho, killed all those people, all those kids, but they had done something wrong. Israel was God's people, therefore justify deaths. Israel not accountable for. A lot of times that the ideas of nationalism tie into that. When people try to be patriotic about things like slavery, what we did to Native Americans, things we've done in the Middle East, things we've done in Latin America, etc. But anyway,
if you don't like it,
Robert Reich says loudly that nationalism is not about patriotism. He says patriotism is about inclusion, but nationalism about exclusion. He says this is used by demagogues in power who use anger and fear to target scapegoats rather than tackling real issues. Couldn't have figured that out. George Orwell, who's pretty noted as being against nationalism, is quoted as saying a bunch of things here, but one of which is, quote, although endlessly brooding on power, victory, defeat, and revenge, the nationalist is uninterested in what happens in the real world. I'm going to repeat that because I think it's interesting. Quote, although endlessly brooding on power, victory, defeat, and revenge, the nationalist is uninterested in what actually happens in the real world. It's the narrative that matters. You can never truly defeat the monster in the closet, of course, because the monster in the closet generally isn't real. But if you did defeat it, nothing to be nationalist about. Mr. Beat, who I love to quote, a history YouTuber, says there is a movement amongst Trump supporters and the American right to reassociate the word nationalism with patriotism. This is being led by PragerU, of course. He adds that nationalism can lead to war, as was the case in World War I and World War II. So with this, we will head into the discussion on patriotism by doing two things.
Your girl Marjorie Taylor Greene says that she's a Christian nationalist. Trump's looking at her for VP. This is about to get live,
neither one of them can pronounce words, so.
Well, Justice Alito also had made public comments recently at the first after I can't remember. I think it was that religious case with the football coach, and he was saying how he believes there's a national assault on religion. And I just thought that was really odd for a sitting Supreme Court justice to say, especially given the First Amendment, like the very first one. Like, because if anything, you should be taking the opposite position, like, which would be more in the direction of separation of church and state. But I guess if you don't care about that.
Right. Because although one of the big tenets of this country's founding was freedom of expression to express and practice whatever religion they wanted, there's this movement of trying to basically make this a theocracy, I believe. You know, a theocratic oligarchy or something like that.
That's the
plan. You know, oh, this is a Christian nation, so the law should be reflective of what would Jesus do when they're actually
but it's so difficult. It's crazy because it's so difficult, Haas, to your point, when I hear that, because there's so much case law that talks about how the government, even state and local governments, cannot prop up one religion over another. So for example, like, let's just say at a city, a town hall or something like that, they'll be like, well, you can't put up a Jesus display if you're not going to also put up other types of displays when people ask you to do them. And if you're going to do that, then you have to take all of them down. Like, if people can't be here the same way in every place. And there's a lot of laws. Can you do it in schools? Can you do it on a bus? Can you do it on a plane? Can you do it on a train? Like, wherever it is, there's so many laws that specifically say these things. And for our Supreme Court to kind of turn around and be like, well, that doesn't matter anymore because, you know, people are free to do whatever they want to do. We've never really, not that we've never really had that, but I've just never seen it be so open. Especially coming from the highest judiciary. So I thought that was just really odd for him to be saying that, especially, you know, again, as a sitting Supreme Court justice.
Showing the difference between it and nationalism, and then defining for ourselves what it means to be patriotic. I kind of already started that, and then I'll let the guys continue that. What qualifies as patriotism? What is not necessary? Is it even important to be patriotic to begin with? So in closing, I give one last thought on what patriotism is, and perhaps the best one I found in my own opinion. I will link this article because it's more than an article, it's a study. Really good study. I'll link it to the notes after we publish. From the Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy, says the dictionary definitions of patriotism may well be too thin and in need of some fleshing out. In the first philosophical book-length study on the subject of patriotism, Stephen Nathanson in 1993 defined it as following. This is patriotism to Nathanson. 1, special affection for one's country. 2, a sense of personal identification with one's country. Both those things are relatively benign. 3, a special concern for the well-being of one's country. Again, benign.
He says benign, but I don't think it's benign. I think there's something to this notion that everybody has to just say that they're American. You're not Irish American. You're not Italian American. You're not African American. You're just an American, which is very easy to say
until the cops pull you over, and then it's like, oh, these people.
Which is easy to say until Black History Month comes up and everybody's annoyed for fucking 28 days because they have
something crazy. My first international trip that wasn't Canada, I remember people referring to me as American, like distinctly American, and me being like, well, no, because I'm black like y'all. Like, I think I was in the islands. I can't remember where I was. And I just remember thinking that in America, I've never thought of myself like, I mean, yes, like African American, but to me, I'm like, that is just a conglomerate of people that y'all just couldn't get more specific. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
y'all really don't know. We're just throwing it out there because it's probably Africa. So
didn't keep really good books back then.
Yeah. So going to another place where I'm like, okay, like I'm among black people. They're like, you're not one of us, but oh, we'll take you. Like, and I just remember feeling like, okay, because when they see Americans, they're like, we have this idea about Americans and you're one of them. And I'm like, not me though. And they're like, no,
Yes,
you too.
Yep.
You're
That's
part
like,
of them.
I had I took a cab somewhere. This is a long, okay, I'm dating myself. I took a cab somewhere.
A yellow cab.
And the driver was African. And somehow we were talking back, and then all of a sudden, you know, you're not the real black man. Whoa. You're not real black man. I'm African. I'm real black man. You are American. You're not real black man.
Yeah.
It was like, wow. I was like,
and you can't even say nothing either.
That was my first experience because I had heard that, you know, some Africans don't like black people. They don't like black Americans. And they look down upon black Americans. They're like, y'all ancestors got caught. Or y'all ancestors were caught by our ancestors and sold because you guys were the weaker ones, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
So my ex is African, Nigerian specifically. And I've never heard that. I've never heard that. But what I have heard just in like, you know, engaging with him, family, friends, things like that, is that Black Americans, sometimes by virtue of feeling superior because they are American, look down on Africans. And like, you know what I mean? So when their experience here is the opposite, which is like, y'all talking down and talking bad on us, like y'all, you know, are othering us because not only are we Black, we're immigrants. We don't necessarily share the same experiences as you all. And y'all not trying, like, y'all not really, because we don't get it, like, you know, being Black in America necessarily, if you're an immigrant, automatically y'all are quick to dismiss us and not, you know, pick us up until
put them in an immigrant camp.
Yeah, like we're immigrants to y'all. We're not Black folks to y'all. Y'all saying all this togetherness, but y'all treating us like we're different. So,
and that's the thing for me is that when in my encounters and in my thoughts about African immigrants, is there's that hint of jealousy because they can trace their entire lineage. You know what I mean? They could trace their entire lineage. They know exactly where they're from. Exactly.
When you say jealousy, you mean jealousy on your part?
On my part. My part, because I don't have that. I could trace to Mississippi. You know what I mean? Or Alabama, et cetera, but I can't jump the ocean and say, yeah, and my heritage goes back to the Republic of Congo or this or that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that is a hole in my spirit. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And that's one of the reasons I want to put that money down and do that 23andMe so that I can at least be like, oh, well, you know. But then, even then, if you drop me off down there, if you take me to Africa and I get off the plane, I don't know anybody. I don't know where to go. There's nobody going to be there waiting on me that I know and say, cousin Hassan, it's so good to see you. Whereas when these African immigrants go back, they have a contingent of people. They have family that is going to be there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that is, I have a little jealousy about that because I'm like, God, I wish I had that. You know?
I mean, that is the continued trauma of slavery. Like it just, we all do not have that connection.
And here we are, how many generations away from it, removed from it. And here I am as a 50-year-old man, nowhere near that. And I feel that in my spirit. I'm like, man, I can't tell my kids, yeah, you know, we go back to here.
And and I think that's something when people ask about the difference between like culture and ethnicity. Ethnically, I'm Nigerian and English. That's just what the genetics say. But culturally,
I'm an American.
I'm an American Black.
Yep.
So the transatlantic slave trade not only ruined millions and millions of lives, it severed lines of history that a lot of European families take for granted.
Yep.
And so with that in mind, here comes this nationalism conversation. Here comes this patriotism conversation, where I will try to speak for all three of us here. You kind of get like, it better not be out of my way. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to go over and above to prop up America, because you know what, America, you got some fucking warts. All right, you got some warts. My family, my people, were got the short end of the stick on all this. So, yeah, I live here. It's okay for now. It could be better, but I'm not running around waving the flag. I'm not getting the fucking Punisher American flag shit tattooed on my neck. Like, I'm not down with it like y'all. And that's my reason, because this ain't my shit. Y'all set this up without my ass in mind at all. I was not considered when all this
you
was
did
done.
have me in mind. You made me build it. Like, you knew exactly what I was gonna do.
You're right. I was not in the beneficiary column. I was in the commodities column.
Literally.
That's exactly what it was.
The first
it was
commodity.
Slavery.
The first commodity. That's what
Free
Wall
labor.
Street was founded on.
We got a minute
it's
left.
Crazy.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say it's crazy because like we talk about how great America was, whatever, but I'm like the reason that we are a superpower is because we had a jump start to our economic system by free labor. Like no other country in modern day is going to be able to replicate that, because you cannot jumpstart free labor. Like when that's how you have all of this economic ability to export and import on these crazy levels and supply at these crazy levels, because no one else is doing it like y'all. Like y'all the best slave sellers ever. Like that's why we're here.
But where is that in the history books? Like they're not proud of that fact. They'll take the trophies, but they won't acknowledge the accomplishments that got them the award in the first place.
Well, that's why we sitting here in this situation that we're in today, is because people have been lied to so much just about basic general history that they don't want to teach their kids, and by their kids I mean all kids.
No, see,
they don't want to teach their kids. They don't want to teach the kids what happened with the history. They don't want them to feel any kind of guilt. They don't even want to acknowledge that stuff. Like, and so then, you know, it comes to a situation where now you are a white kid or a white person here, and people say Black power because they are trying to rally themselves against oppression. And now you're feeling fearful because you've learned that this is the bad guy. Like, it's a mess. Very ghetto.
More than benign, but that is really good. I am concerned about the well-being of people in this country. That's why I want things like, Medicare for all, people to make money, etc.
Mikey.
And number 4, willingness to sacrifice to promote the country's good. Again, at the lowest end, super benign. Stanford goes on to offer, at least in my opinion, the guys might disagree. Stanford goes on to offer this interesting thought, and I preface by saying it's a thought that encourages more thought, which is what I like about it. They say, a fuller account of patriotism is beyond the scope of this entire article. Such an account would say something about the patriot's beliefs, about the merits of his country, his need to belong to a group, and be part of a more encompassing narrative. To be related to a past and a future that transcend the narrow confines of an individual's life and concerns, as well as social and political conditions that affect the ebbs and flows of patriotism. Its political and cultural influence plus more. It needs more discussion. So let's discuss, guys. I'm done. And then I got there's a couple videos I've given Mikey the link. One from PragerU and one that you guys are just going to lose your fucking balls.
Why does he keep excluding Anna?
But anyway,
yeah, his anatomy is very one-sided.
It's giving gender discrimination.
I'm telling you,
digress.
you need to take him. You need to take him behind the woodshed, Anna.
Yeah,
you're going to lose your shit on this one. But it is hilariously.
Also, women don't shit. Like, I don't know where he's coming with this.
Ridiculous. So, with that being said, peace out. I'll see you suckers next week. Bye.
No, thank God he's gone.
I wanted to say something. Somebody said something in the comments that said there was slavery all over the world, still in quite a bit of it. I agree to a certain extent. Like, yes, slavery exists, but I would say that the difference is there's differences between like slavery where there's slavery is like indentured servitude, and then chattel slavery where there's no people are being treated as property, transported as property, and their humanity is not considered in that type of slavery, versus a slavery that is you have the ability to earn yourself out of whatever that capacity or that type of indentured servitude is. And I'm not saying that the indentured servitude is okay. I'm just saying that there's a difference between slavery as it existed during the transatlantic slave trade period and slavery as it exists in today's form, and other types of slaveries. Obviously not the other types of slaveries like human trafficking, child trafficking, and things like that. But I just wanted to address that because yes, slavery happens, but slavery means different things depending on the time, place, and context.
Thank you.
So we're done with the dig, right? But unfortunately, we can't get to the humidor. We can't get out of here. We got 2 more links left. They're not great. They're not. They're not
Me and
great.
Hans had the same face at the same time. We was like, oh.
So this is from PragerU, and this is why you should be a nationalist. This is not my fault. At Dutch, whatever his fucking at on Twitter is on Twitter. Please send all of your emails and comments.
Do you have to play the whole thing?
We could scrub it. We can scrub through it.
Oh yeah, I agree. Flow State and Constance, I did see that Airbnb that was a slave shack. They have slave homes and like I guess masters homes as like wedding venue and event venue rent plantations. I'm dumb. Plantations as wedding.
Don't you ever say that about Anna again on this show, or I will mute your microphone. You don't talk ill of Anna on this broadcast network. Thank you very much. All right,
who did it?
Why you should be a nationalist from Dutch.
Britain votes to leave the European Union. The United States elects a president who says he'll put America first.
These fucking ridiculous.
That was the comparison. The very first thing out the box. America did it.
Oh my God.
Around the world, nationalism is winning elections. Many see this nationalist revival as the great danger of our time, fearing that nationalism will take us back to a more primitive and racist past.
Hold the fuck. Go ahead.
But it wasn't long ago that great political figures such as Woodrow Wilson and Teddy Roosevelt.
This motherfucker said Woodrow Wilson.
Man,
you know Woodrow? I never heard of any other guy named Woodrow.
He the last
Woodrow from Sanford and Son.
But it was his name was Woodrow.
It was a Woodrow character. There was Woodrow and Rollo and Grady.
That's a good song.
Ben Gurion and Mahatma Gandhi, Ronald Reagan and Margaret.
He said Gandhi, notorious racist. Ronald Reagan.
He also got Ronald Reagan on the list. I'm confused about where this is finna go.
Where's this going?
He got Maggie up there too.
Recognize what I call the virtue of nationalism.
What?
Oh God.
Here we go.
So what is this virtue?
See, when motherfuckers be telling me, oh, you should really listen to the conservative side of things because you'll really get to understand what they're talking about. They're dumb. They say dumb shit. I don't need to like watch dumb shit to know which dumb shit they're talking about. It's dumb at the end of the day. It's all dumb. Dumb-dumbs. Dummies.
A nationalist believes that the world is governed best when nations are free to chart their own independent course, cultivating their traditions and pursuing their interests without interference.
But who's interfering?
I'm gonna put it out to the chat. If you guys can find that definition of nationalism anywhere other than PragerU, I will make Dutch send you out a t-shirt. If you can send me a link of that being listed anywhere else as the definition of nationalism, because that is so loaded, it's ridiculous.
Interference.
But who's interfering? Like, that's my question.
Yes.
And pursuing their interests without interference. Nationalism is not about racism. All nations.
Of course it's not. Of course it's not.
Nations are internally diverse. And it isn't about.
All nations are internally diverse. One of my best mates lives in Sweden. It's less than 1% black. It's less than 1% other. Everyone is Swedish or Norwegian. Everyone's Scandinavian. You can't go to the Congo and tell me about the Mexican population there. It doesn't happen. That's not a thing. You're lying.
About isolationism. Of course, nations can pursue a variety of different policies in diplomacy and trade. Nationalism is the opposite of imperialism, or globalism, or transnationalism, which are all names for the attempt to bring peace and prosperity to the world by uniting mankind under a single political authority. The debate between nationalists and globalists.
I've never heard that. I've never ever heard that. A world government. Never heard that.
Treaties are great when it's good for us, but other than that, world government. It's just trying to take.
I love how they put peace and prosperity and just did the world government on top of it.
Nothing worse than world government.
Then is over whether we should aspire to a world of many independent nations or to be one unified superstate like the enlightened federation of the Star Trek movies.
Wow.
I just want to know which part of the global community is going to take care of the asteroid. Oh, it's not hitting me, so fuck it. Okay.
A case can be made for both sides of the argument. But for the last 30 years, really since the fall of the Berlin Wall in 1989 and the end of the Soviet Union, the one world side has been dominant. Today, this is changing. Maybe not among elites, but among ordinary citizens, or as they're known in America, the deplorables.
What the fuck?
Oh, so PragerU, you can just lie.
They said, as they're known in America.
No, y'all are deplorable because you vote against your own self-interest and you think that you're going to be a millionaire tomorrow, and you're not. Deplorable is just a code word for stupid people. So sorry that you don't like the word deplorable. Read a book. Call your Congress people. Figure out their positions. And then maybe you won't be so deplorable.
Turns out that a lot of people still think good borders make good neighbors. It's hardly surprising that people want to preserve the way of life they and their ancestors built up over centuries.
Whoa.
Well.
What do you mean your ancestors built anything?
Do we have to listen to the rest of this?
I think we've heard enough.
Skip up.
Come on.
They got a king in here. Go to that. Did you see the king?
Yeah,
just because you have a
who is the
motherfucker
king?
Speaking, just because you got a motherfucker speaking in a very hushed tone doesn't mean you're right. Lies are lies.
All right, I'm gonna turn the volume down. We got 3 minutes left. I'm just gonna power through it. I'm not gonna pause it. Just yell over the top of it.
Fuck.
The way of life they believe is best. It's human nature. Our strongest loyalties are to those who are closest to us, to our family, then the larger community or tribe, and finally to the nation. Long ago, it was discovered that the key to human freedom is to build political life out of this natural loyalty.
They will throw their families away if they don't love Trump.
The community, and the independent nation, you could get people to cooperate with one another, join in the common defense, and willingly obey laws. The only
willingly obey laws.
Wow.
Force.
They'll stop being criminals if we just do it my way.
Communism and Nazism both sought to impose a universal vision at gunpoint. Both the communists and the Nazis were imperialists. They wanted to eliminate the independent nations of the world.
I lied. So if I don't pay my taxes and they say you're going to jail and I don't want to go, never mind.
Nationalism holds that borders are crucial. The border is where each nation's ambitions should stop.
If I'm speeding 150 miles an hour and they try to pull me over to stop me and I say no, never mind.
This idea first appears in the Bible, where Moses gives borders to Israel and tells the Jews they'll be punished if they trouble their neighbors. True to its biblical roots,
they brought up Martin Luther King and Martin Luther in the same video.
Protestant Reformation of the 16th century made the independent nation state the political cornerstone of the modern world. When Henry VIII declared that England would no longer obey dictates from Rome, he became Europe's first true nationalist.
Did he? Did he? Was that the requirement?
According to his definition, which changes based on the person he's talking about.
Soon, additional nations declared their independence. The Dutch from Spain and America from Britain, to cite just two examples.
Yeah, those were like right at the same time. It wasn't like 100 years in between.
The competition among these newly independent peoples led to an explosion of innovation, bringing unprecedented progress in science, industry, and government.
What's Attorney Anna, you seem to be quite the history scholar tonight. What, pray tell, could have launched the scientific, manufacturing, and governmental success of nations such as, I don't know, the United States?
Slavery.
He's probably going to talk about that next.
For nearly 400 years, the principle of...
Where's the slave trade in his chart
I don't
here?
see slavery on the timeline because he's all the way in 1900s.
He goes from the for you audio people, please check us out on Twitch on Wednesday nights. He's got a timeline here. It goes from 1500 to 1900, and he's got a bunch of events like the Protestant Reformation of 1517, the Dutch proclaim independence from Spain in 1581. Henry VIII splits from Rome in 1534. And then America declares its independence from Britain in 1776. But from 1400 till 1776, even till 1900, there's one incredible piece of information that's just missing from his info, from his little graphic. That is very convenient that he left out. What's the number? 30, 40 million people? Like, what was the number of people in chat?
Of national independence served as the foundation for a better, freer world.
Freer?
Ask the natives if they feel freer. Ask the First Nations people if they felt freer being put in those conformity schools.
Didn't the Pope just apologize for that in Canada?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Because they dug up all them bodies after they said, no, we didn't do anything like that.
Yeah. And they were at the schools and stuff run by
Reformation School. I think that's what it's called. Where the church
Reformation School.
Where the church comes in and gives them free school, for free people.
But World War I and World War II changed everything. Traumatized by these catastrophic conflicts.
How many people died? Never mind.
Many now seek...
How many people died during... Never mind.
...comfort in a simplistic narrative, ceaselessly repeated, that nationalism caused 2 world wars and the Holocaust. But this is one of the great untruths of our time.
Oh, he's stamped on there, so it's definitely untrue.
Adolf Hitler was no nationalist. He was an imperialist.
What's Nazi stand for? It's 2 words. I can't remember what it was.
That I don't know.
National Socialist, I think.
Ambitions had been limited to ruling Germans. It would have been terrible for Germany. But the French, the British, the Russians, and everyone else would have been spared a world war. Sadly, European elites learned the wrong lesson, believing that independent nations are inherently dangerous. Better, they reasoned, that all countries should live under one government. In 1992...
Whoever said that? No one said that. Like, literally no one said that.
People are saying all over.
No one said that.
Birth to the European Union. British Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher hated the idea. She didn't want the bureaucrats in Brussels making decisions for Brits in Birmingham.
Is that how the UN works? Is that ever how it's worked?
The EU.
Has that been how it's worked? How it's ever worked? As soon as Britain joined the EU, they lost the British pound and they had to switch over to the euro. I remember that historically. Oh, wait, it never happened. See, this is what happens when stupid people get a hold of some editing software.
But in the utopian 1990s, Britain thought it was better to dump Thatcher and go with Brussels. It's the spirit of Margaret Thatcher, and indeed of Henry VIII, that reasserted itself in Britain's vote for independence from Europe in June 2016. Donald Trump tapped into the same...
I wonder what happened to the British economy and everything when they decided to leave the EU, though.
Oh, it's great. They got trucks lined up from port to port. Very busy, very successful.
5 months later, in November 2016. Nationalism is making a comeback. If you care about freedom, you should hope it succeeds. I'm Yoram Chazoni, author of The Virtue of Nationalism for Prager University.
You are a fucking clown. You are a fucking clown. Dutch, you're a piece of shit for making us watch that. And then he says, this is the creme de la creme. This is our last one.
It's 9 minutes.
I hear you. I hear you. He said his shit was fucking short and it was fucking 20 minutes. And we talked through it. So here we are. All right. We got to get through this. I feel like we can do this. I don't know what to say about this guy. I know it's going to be bad. I'm sorry.
What is a patriot?
I quit.
The general...
Let's not do any pauses.
Patriot.
Okay.
Is someone who will go to any lengths to defend this country.
Sounds like an extremist.
Against all enemies. When Americans talk...
Except for the domestic
patriots, we generally talk of soldiers who go to war in foreign lands.
No.
With a willingness to lay down their lives if need be.
Most of them don't care about their fellow citizens. They want to
think of our fine men and women all across this great land, willing to defend the innocent against the criminals among us.
That's not your house.
And just like the soldiers,
that's a green screen.
Sometimes these patriots give their lives, their fortunes, and their sacred honors, having their names smeared by those who would paint them as racist. And they do this so that the rest of us can live free. They do this not for fame or glory, nor for accolades or awards, but because they see it as their solemn duty.
What?
And that's what it means to be a patriot. Patriots fight not for a government or for a politician, not for a party or a movement, but because our country was founded
on racism,
on a document.
Oh shit!
Written with an iron pen about 250 years ago,
when blacks weren't people;
Today
they were
is
property.
The 4th of July, Independence Day, the day that document was written.
He got on a full suit on the 4th of July.
Also not true. It wasn't finished being signed until like the 2nd, so August 2nd. Just throw that out there for you history buffs out there.
Time of year we tend to connect patriotism with the defense of our founding fathers and the founding principles that made this country great. And we remember the
Blacks
signers of
is
the
property.
It's this Disney music for me.
in their sacred honor to each other and to God in defense of their sacred
Who's God? Never mind.
privileges. But these men weren't defending a parcel of land as much as they were defending
Allah.
a set of ideals. They believe that all men are created equal.
Except blacks.
They believe that everyone with a heartbeat had a natural right to life, liberty,
blacks and women.
the pursuit of happiness within reasonable boundaries.
And the Asians.
A patriot then could rightfully include any and every one of us who
And
agrees
Mexicans.
with those principles. The signers of that declaration didn't see us in terms of color of our skin.
Why do you
They
say it
saw
like that?
no difference in male Americans or female.
Really?
That's not true.
Rich Americans.
Really?
Anna, did
This
the
why we
framers-
can't get through the video.
Anna, did the framers of the Constitution have women in mind when they wrote the Constitution?
No.
Thank you.
Or poor. They saw only the innocent and the tyrant.
I need to
The
pour some
victim
more
and
fucking
the villain.
lyrics.
We about to get
Where are the
Always that.
textualists when you need them?
Put as much distance as humanly possible between the two. They're no longer here. So we need a new generation.
Yo, Haas, we can't let this man go unscathed from our clothing critique. Anna, you're more than welcome to jump in here. Yo, I
Well,
like
the
how
shirt was already too small, first of all, and he got this full outfit on the 4th of July. It's giving.
I love the fact that he can't button the top button on the goddamn collar.
the top button is not done, which is why your tie is looking crazy right now. And that tie, it looks like he tied it last night, took it off, put it on a hanger, and hung it up in the closet.
You got to get the dimple right. I mean, I give him props for the dimple.
And it ain't his house.
That's
No.
definitely not his house.
No.
The lighting is crazy. But let's also talk about the fact that his sleeves are stretchy, and he acted like couldn't nobody see that.
I love the makeup that he put on. Because if you look at his hairline there, you can tell.
Oh, yeah, he missed
definitely
some
put
spots.
bronzer on or something.
He was trying to powder out that shiny. Trying to get that shiny out.
Of men.
He was trying to make you think it was his house.
Did he make this thinking he was going to get laid or something?
Hell yeah! Look at that.
Probably.
Did he make this video thinking that he's going to
It's
get
a
laid?
farmhouse. He got this picture off Pinterest.
He got this off of Farmers. What's it called?
Farmers
Hookup.
Only.
Farmers only.
Farmer's wife.
Christian Mingle.
Who are willing to fill that gap. Patriots among us. We are not a white nation. We are not a black nation, a Latino, not a nation of men, not a nation of women, not of rich, not
He
of
also
poor,
didn't
but
write
one.
this, obviously.
No, he
didn't write this.
He wrote it. He wrote it. He just don't have it memorized.
It's from the top of the dome. Top of the
No,
dome.
he's reading.
piece.
He's definitely reading. But normally,
Yeah, but he probably wrote it.
When you write something, you can at least look in the camera for a few sentences. Those
He's
ones that
not
you
good,
think-
Haas. He's not good.
He ain't got it like that.
He's not sweet.
He ain't talking to a speech major. So
Nation. And the pledge that we pledge to our flag. One nation under God.
Who's God?
Which God?
Indivisible.
Really?
What does that mean?
Really?
Liberty
There's 50 states. It's hella divided.
and justice for all.
All white male property owners.
That we are one nation. And as long as we remember that all of us have rights that come from God.
Which
we will
God?
forever be
Yo, is this like alternate universe Dutch?
Fuck.
indivisible.
Dutch, I hate you. I hate
That
you.
founding
for making us
generation,
play this shit.
the battle lines were clearly drawn.
Battle.
We're either on the side.
Why you gotta emphasize the
freedom,
phrases of violence? Battle.
or you were on the side of tyranny.
Oh, it's us or you.
You either believed in the rights of the individual
Mm-hmm.
or you didn't.
Right.
And today, those lines are no longer quite as clear. Some
Why?
would have us believe that liberty is outdated, that
What?
individualism is the equivalent of racism.
I have been hearing a lot from the leftists that liberty is so outdated. and that people just need to, you know.
I just want to know, like, why is racism the only thing that's triggering people about nationalism? Because I'm like, I don't hear y'all hanging y'all hat on any other issue except for the fact that people calling you racist. Like, and there has to be just more issues than that.
What? How dare you insinuate that white nationals are racist?
Who brought up race?
That freedom involves fairness and equity with their newfound definitions that guarantees outcomes. With these new definitions, identifying the true enemies of liberty has gotten a lot harder. It is the college sophomore who wants his fair share. It is a criminal who justifies his behavior because of how his ancestors were treated.
Oh my!
So who is he talking about? The Irish? Gotta be the Irish he talk about. Gotta be.
Who the fuck? Like we hear
Gotta
the
be the
dog
Irish.
whistle, you fuck.
Well, he's talking about the
college
Irish.
sophomore who wants his fair share. It is a criminal who justifies his behavior because of how his ancestors were treated.
Are you talking about all the fucking school shooters? Is that who you're talking about?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Is that who you're fucking talking about?
The mass shooter. Talking about the dude that was up on the roof.
Is that who you're talking about? Because that's who it sounds like. Because that's all they come up with is, oh, they had a rough childhood.
Yeah.
Their upbringing was so rough.
He was picked on.
He didn't fucking shower and he ate his own boogers in class, so people stayed away from him.
I got bullied all through high school. I didn't shoot up nothing.
Black kids don't shoot up shit. We all fucking dog each other out.
Fuck.
But we learn and grow from it. And if we have to get into fights, we fight with the motherfucker that's been talking shit. Not the motherfucker that's had my back the whole time.
Wow. I can't believe we're listening to this blithering idiocy.
Justifies his behavior because of how his ancestors were treated. It is a politician who wants to guarantee everyone a right to government-sponsored health care.
What?
Are we mad at that? Like, are we mad that people want to have health care?
We don't want to catch up to the rest of the fucking developed world. We want to stay with Papua New Guinea and Guam.
He said, can you believe that people think that healthcare should be free? Ugh,
can you believe
that?
What
a thought.
What
all these tax dollars, and I just thought they were just going to be stolen away by
God bless it.
Politicians.
Our defense budget is higher than the next 7 nations combined.
I have a question.
We can't pay for healthcare though.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Do Congress people have healthcare?
For life, like fucking NWO from the WWF.
They do.
It's sweet. Yes.
It's for life.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Forever.
Forever and ever.
How about Supreme Court justices?
For life.
Police officers?
Life.
Military?
Life.
Okay. Presidents?
Life.
Who pays
those are all government workers.
Who pays all those people?
Us.
Me.
So we can pay for other people to have centralized single payer healthcare. But if I should want the same healthcare that my representative gets, who I send with my tax dollars to Washington to represent me, if I want the same care that they get, I got Dutch 2.0 over here talking shit.
To quote,
maybe you should run for office, Mikey.
To quote the great,
they don't
Eddie
want
Murphy,
me in office.
What would Eddie Murphy say? No, we won't have any of that.
I did see that clip.
Oh my!
This dude, and look at his face. He thinks he's doing it.
That's East Coast Dutch. That's who that is.
He's like, I am crushing this. Sylvia is going to be in my DMs forthwith after she sees this video. I'm sending it to her first.
Ain't no way she's not going to love this.
Ancestors were treated. It is a politician who wants to guarantee.
Hold on, pause one more time. I like how, on one hand, he's saying, one nation, indivisible, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But how dare you think that you have a right to health care as an American? How dare thou? So on one hand, he's telling us, oh, we should all be coalesced into one thing. But If you can't afford healthcare, hey man, them's be the breaks, man. You know, people in hell want ice water.
Hey, you can't always get what you want.
Okay, yo, we got 4 minutes.
Mr. Double speak hypocrite.
But if you try sometimes,
right to government-sponsored healthcare. In the Revolutionary War era, there were patriots who actively fought for our nation. There were those who supported them on the home front. And then there were those who supported our enemy.
Some people supported the enemy. Which team is you on?
And those were the British soldiers who actively fought on the side of tyranny. But the vast majority of citizens at that time did nothing. They were neither patriots or tyrants. They neither supported our American patriots, and neither did they support Britain.
I hope he has this next few minutes coming up talking about the South.
And just as it was back then, I believe the same is true today. I believe we have a large number of citizens among us who don't really care for the message of politics. They celebrate Independence Day with fireworks and cookouts and taking a day off of work. But that's as political as they get, and as patriotic as they get as well. Maybe they don't understand what's at stake. Maybe they do.
Oh my God.
But they don't know how to get involved. Is that you?
Is that you?
Whatever the case, they don't see the importance or the necessity of standing against tyranny. Someone else can do that. Then there are those who I believe don't realize they have adopted the ideals of the tyrants.
Yeah, man.
Getting free stuff sounds too good. And they don't understand the importance of individualism to our American way of life. So without realizing it, they've sided with tyranny. And this is why today, more than ever, we need to take a fresh look at what...
Check your tone. Check your tone, Internet Dutch. We ain't gonna have you yelling up in here. You ain't running shit but your mouth. Go on.
Patriotism really means and why individualism is so important. Can we really celebrate our independence? Can we really call ourselves?
How the fuck do you celebrate independence and individualism at the same fucking time? This is
Go on with your Borophil.
Go on with your Borophil. Are you right?
Patriots.
Dutch, that's your ass when you get back. You know, we finna have a roast session after this shit.
While encompassing the vices.
I'm about to be like this. This is crazy.
If we don't have a generation of men and women who are willing to separate themselves from the crowd and stand in the gap and willingly sacrifice their lives, their fortunes, and their sacred honor.
So why he don't just go sign up to be a Navy SEAL? Like, he's obviously not doing enough.
Fathers in the same way that they did, then our country is doomed, and we cannot call on other generations to do it for us. Ladies and gentlemen, it is our turn. It is our time.
This motherfucker peaked in high school.
If we don't fight
guaranteed
the battle against evil and tyranny, who will?
What evil tyranny? You voted for the motherfuckers.
A patriot means
or didn't vote.
Living a life of sacrifice, giving to my community, helping people in need, not seeing the color of your skin, but looking at your actions and your deeds. When we see evil in this country, we need to stand together. We need to be more united today in 2021 than we ever have before. Don't forsake what our history books have taught us, the lessons that great men and women have taught us in the
past. Which history books and which history? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I don't know if I can make the last 30 seconds. This is killing me. I want to get him on the show because I haven't gotten real like liquored up and yelled at nobody in almost a year. It might be time. It might be
throw
time.
away the books of history. Our founding fathers gave us so much because of what they had learned and the evils that they themselves had to fight, establishing our great country.
You locked
Today,
up and
let
raped
us
my
stand together
people.
and show America how great patriots can lift up our fallen and lift up the helpless and the needy and the sick.
You just said that
the ones he didn't want have health care.
Yes.
One.
Yes. Yes.
And we can be all that America needs us to be.
Did you hear yourself, dude?
I'm done. I'm never playing another link that Dutch ever gives me ever again. Ever again. It will never happen on this show. I promise you that for the rest of the show going forward. If Dutch is not here,
bro, you tripping.
If Dutch is not here, we're not doing no dig. We're not doing no dig. We'll just fucking chop it up. We'll just do some drink recommendations. Talk about relationships or kids or something like that. This is from July 4th, 2021. Asked Mr. TJ John Stone. TJ, I see that you got a new show coming out on HBO. I see you. Jon Snow, I saw you. You got your show coming out. Shout out to TJ. He got his own special, baby. He got his own series. I likes that shit. I likes to see that shit. But that's from Patriot MJB. I don't even know where to begin with all of this shit.
Can we just chalk it up as a bad experience and move on?
Well, no, we gotta talk because this dude's a patriot, right? This dude is patriotism.
But what is he doing other than what he's telling other people that they shouldn't be doing, which is making a video? But you make the video on the 4th of July. Like, what did you do?
He did his part. Where's your 4th of July video?
I didn't know I needed to announce my patriotism.
So I'll say it this way. And this is my final take on patriotism, and I'm gonna leave it up to y'all so we can do this humidor and get on up out of here. Patriotism is like game. Game recognized game.
Granddad.
If you got to talk about how much game you have, how much game do you really have? If I have to continually tell Anna all the women that just constantly hit on me 24/7, I just got to keep reminding her that I'm just inundated with all these thoughts and hoes, skip steps and scallywags all over me at all times. I just have to deal with the incoming thoughts. God
damn it.
They be sending me messages talking about some thoughts and prayers, but they spell it like
skanks and scallywags.
Thoughts and prayers.
They be sending the thoughts and prayers to my DMs.
I'm like, Laura, start the rapture, because obviously it's time for us to go.
But this is what I'm saying all the time. If that's all I talk about, do you think I actually have thoughts in my DMs?
No.
No. The dude who walking around
You
talking
are
about
thoughtless.
I'm not even thought provoking.
Couldn't help yourself, could you? Couldn't even help yourself, could you? It was right there.
That's the new show for the Dig on America Network is Thought Provoking, and it's where I dissect thought behavior. Coming to you once a week on Patreon only.
Oh my God, that was excruciating.
That hurt. That hurted. Hurted.
Oh my God.
That was pretty bad.
There's a little blood in my ear headphones right now.
Everybody, make sure you hang your headphones on upside down tonight so that the blood can drain from them.
I gotta go and get a Q-tip and get the shit out of my ears. All the bullshit I just heard.
Rubbing alcohol.
Oh my God. I mean, and he was